This is Jessica Taylor interviewing Betty Marshall on June 20th, 2013 at Sanders in Gloucester Courthouse, Virginia, and the time is 12 o'clock p.m. Ma'am, can you please state your full name?
Betty Ann Ratcliffe Marshall.
Okay. What is your date of birth?
March 8th, 1920.
Okay. And where were you born?
Richmond, Virginia.
When did you move to Gloucester?
June 16th, 1960.
When did you start summering in Gloucester?
About 10 years before.
All right. What are your parents' names?
Elizabeth Blanche Jones and Clyde Harvey Ratcliffe.
Okay. And what were their occupations?
Mother was a housekeeper, I guess. Mm-hmm. We had servants at the time. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. And Daddy was a banker.
Okay. Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have 3 sons. Beverly Welford Marshall. You want his age?
Sure.
66. Davis Ratcliffe Marshall, 62. And Philip Tolliver Marshall, 60.
Okay. Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I had 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Uh-huh. What did they do?
My older brother, Davis Ratcliffe, was an attorney, a lawyer. My younger brother was in the DuPont paint business for a long time. And my sister was a mother, housewife.
Okay. Where was your father a banker at?
A bank that failed when they had the Depression was called American Bank and Trust Company.
Okay. What did he do after?
Various things. I can't even tell you. Some of it was stockbrokers.
Okay. That makes sense. And as for you, what was your occupation?
Before I was married, during the war, World War II, I worked for Internal Revenue for almost 5 years. And after I married, I did not work.
Mm-hmm. When did you marry?
January 29th, 1945.
Okay. And when you moved to Gloucester, where did you live?
My son still lives there. It's down Berwester Lane off of 14, and it's called Philippi from the Bible. It's on a wonderful location, looks directly at North River, all the way down to Matthews, and it's the back creek is on to the right, and all of the other side of Back Creek is Ware Neck, which is, if you get there, you have 10 miles to drive, but on occasion you can almost walk over there.
That's wonderful. Is it an older house or did you build it?
My husband's uncle, Dr. Edwin Tolliver Welford, built it as a summer cottage, and we added 2 wings in 1960. And it was originally, the cottage part was built in 1903.
Wow. So I'm going to ask you a little bit about living in Richmond.
Okay.
When did your family first get a car?
They had them before I was born in 1920.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they got a car before you were born?
They'd had, yes.
Uh-huh. Do you remember?
When they first came out, they had a Cadillac bought from William Jones automobile place.
Mm-hmm. And how often was it used?
I don't know. I wasn't born then. That was before I was born.
Well, after you were born.
They always had 1 or 2 cars.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother never drove, but one was for business and one was for pleasure.
Which one was the business one and which one was the pleasure one?
I think Daddy's car, they had several in my lifetime, but mainly Dodges or Buicks.
Okay. And when you were going on a trip in the car, where would you go?
Various places. We had a summer home in Barnell, Virginia, 8 miles outside Richmond. Now my home was on Monument Avenue, between Robert E. Lee Monument and Jefferson Davis's monument. And in the summer, on Memorial Day, we'd moved to our summer home in Barnell, which is 8 miles away from Richmond and supposedly 8 degrees cooler, a higher elevation. And we would stay in Barnell until school started.
Wow. So your whole family would move outside of Richmond during the summer?
Yes.
Wow. Did you ever go on trips to Gloucester or Washington, D.C.?
Not when I was real young. Yes, we went on trips. We went to Virginia Beach a lot. And various beaches, up to Atlantic City and Ocean City and D.C. And I can remember going to Florida on a dirt road long before the interstates.
Wow. As a teenager, what did you do for fun?
I had fun. I went to a private school called Collegiate School for Girls. It was 3 blocks from where I lived on Monument Avenue. And I studied some, and I liked boys, and I was very athletic.
If you were to go on a date, where would you go?
The Country Club of Virginia.
Wow.
That was the club. When you lived in Richmond, there were 4 things. The drive was the Skyline Drive. The club was the Country Club of Virginia. The beach was Virginia Beach. And the university was the University of Virginia.
Wow. That's severe. Describe your friends to me. What kind of a group were you?
My friends it was a girls' school, and people, my classmates mainly.
And would you go to the beach together?
No, with the family.
Okay. So what would you do with your friends on a Saturday night?
With dates? Well, I said we'd probably go to the country club, or a movie, the theater. What everybody does at that age, I think.
So if you were to go to the beach, to Virginia Beach, would you spend all your time on the actual beach, like swimming, or would you go out to a restaurant or?
Well, in those days, Virginia Beach had resorts that would furnish breakfast and dinner. And they've all gone now. You could sometimes study Virginia Beach, the history of that is interesting. And I'd spend a lot of time on the beach, of course, that's what I was there for.
Did your servants and things like that come with your family to Virginia Beach?
No.
No.
No, she moved out to Barnell with us.
Oh. What's her name?
Mary Blackwell Hackett.
Wow.
And she was hired when I was 5 years old and helped marry us and bury us and so forth. And so she was there a long time.
Yeah. Where did she come from?
A place called McKinney, Virginia. Not too far from Richmond.
Was she a white woman?
Oh, she was black.
She was black?
And of course we called them colored.
So was your relationship close?
Very.
Very close?
Yes, she was wonderful with me.
Do you have any anecdotes about that time with her?
Any what?
Anecdotes, like moments that stand out to you.
Well, I know if I was sick, she was the one that would sort of bring me everything I needed. Whatever. She was wonderful.
So when you came to Gloucester, you started summering, you said, in about 1950?
60.
1960.
In the summers for many years.
Okay. What's your earliest memory of Main Street? What did it look like to you?
Oh, I don't know. Well, the cars were entirely different from these days. And you can remember some of the old stores, but I can't remember. There's one called Tucker's, 5 and 10 cent store, and a clothing store, and good old Marvin's Drug Store, and Gray's Drug Store. And of course we had no ABC store. You had to go to West Point, Virginia for any of that.
Really? Some people have mentioned watering holes or beer joints. Did you ever notice anything like that?
No, can't go back that far.
Okay.
Watering holes?
Or beer joints, like places where you can get beer with your dinner.
Well, you could get beer at Gray's, and if you wanted a milkshake, you went to Marvin's. They were across the street from each other.
Coming from Richmond, did you notice a difference in the quality of goods or the amount of goods that were sold on Main Street?
Well, when I went to Bear Wester, we would order our groceries from, it's there, Way Academy, if you know where that is. And it was called McClung's Grocery Store. We would order that by phone and go up and pick it up. They'd have it all ready for us.
Wow.
And we had, at Bear Wester years ago, this is long before 1960, you'd have a phone, you'd pick up and you'd ring, and then you'd have a certain ring for your phone. And you could you went through an operator and they could get you in touch with certain people. And they might just know where they were.
So, was that the way that it was in Richmond?
No, in Richmond it was, we had definite phones, regular phones, no party line.
But would you order your groceries over the phone?
Yes, we certainly did that.
Okay.
Mother and Colored Mary would do all that.
So when you were ordering your groceries over the phone in Gloucester, do you remember the year or around the year that was?
Yes, I would say in the late 30s and even before, I would say from 30 until the 50s.
Okay. How did Gloucester change over that time period?
A great deal. Oh my goodness, we had no Walmart or Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those places.
But between the 30s and the 50s, did you notice a large change?
Well, we had a good old restaurant here called Calvin's. Maybe somebody's mentioned that. And I don't know what else you want to know. They had several automobile places on Main Street.
Can you remember the people that you would see every day? Like the people that work behind the counters?
Oh, we knew everybody.
Yeah.
If you went in a restaurant, you'd know 3 or 4 people. Now you don't know anyone sometimes.
Well, tell me about some of the people that you'd see every day.
Way back then? I don't think I ought to say their names.
Oh, you don't have to.
No. Later on I had little children, and I loved to go fishing. We'd go fishing a lot. And sailing some. And what else you want to know?
Okay. What is your earliest memory of the Texaco station on Main Street?
I can't remember one night, I don't think.
Do you remember when it came into town? When it was built?
No, I have no idea.
You said
When was it built?
It was built in 1931, but I don't know when people started going there. Do you remember Captain Jack Brown or Herman Brown?
Which was the one that ran the gas station?
Captain Jack Brown owned
The
it.
Brown. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you remember
Was
him?
his name Jack? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, I remember him. They always filled it for us. Mm-hmm. We didn't get out.
So, because it's so different from now, can you describe that process to me?
What they would do? Mm-hmm. They would take the cap off your car and put the nozzle in there and pump the gas for you.
Would you talk during that time?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Yes. Everybody's friend in Gloucester.
Do you remember the one-armed man?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that's Herman Brown.
Herman is the one I knew. I don't remember any others.
Oh, okay. What was he like as a person?
Very nice.
Yeah. Do any moments stick out to you?
No, I can just remember him filling the car.
Okay.
With gas.
Do you remember a place on the side of the gas station called the Ladies' Lounge?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay. So you never really got out of the...
Later on there was a car wash place. Still there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember anything about that?
Well, yes, you could run your car through. Very nice. Or you could wash your own car.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice that Gloucester has gotten more populous in the last 30
Oh, my
years?
heavens, yes.
How has that affected your life?
Well, it's just not the same place. As I said, we had all the Walmart, especially, coming to town. When that opened here, the second one, they had one that was at another location nearby. It was the largest Walmart on the East Coast.
And I heard that there was a kind of a celebration when it came into town.
If so, I might have been in Florida. I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. Do you remember any Main Street traditions that, like the Daffodil Festival or the Halloween Parade?
Oh, well, I would bring my children up to Lewis Avenue, all three of them, for Halloween, and they'd go up and down the street.
Well, tell me about that. What did they dress up like? Who did they go see?
I can't remember what they dressed up like.
Oh, okay.
Clowns, probably. I don't remember.
Okay. And everybody was really friendly on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a show did people put on for kids on Halloween? Did they decorate their houses or...
Well, see, I was down on the river. And I think they'd have jack-o'-lanterns and things in the window.
Okay. What about Christmas? Were you ever here on Christmas?
Not until I moved here. Mm-hmm. And they were wonderful.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a best Christmas in Gloucester?
A best Christmas?
Yeah, in Gloucester.
They're all great.
Okay. Okay. Did you want to ask anything? Okay. Are there any other anecdotes or key moments you can tell us about?
I'm sorry. I don't know. I know when I moved here, I was elected immediately to the Gloucester Women's Club.
Uh-huh.
And then in 1961, I was elected to the Garden Club of Gloucester. And I've always loved the North River Circle of the King's Daughters. And I've been an avid member of Ware Church. I sang in the choir 20 years. My husband was on the vestry and so forth. My boys all carried the cross. Oh, Ware Church.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What was the women's club like?
Well, we had wonderful programs and we'd have good attendance. Mm-hmm. It was very active.
what about it did you find meaningful? What brought you there?
I guess the purpose of any woman's club, to have good programs and good presence and so forth.
Okay. Did you notice how the vision of the women's club changed over time? Things that you would do differently?
Well, I don't think we have as many active members now because back in my day, a lot of women didn't work and most of them do now. So the attendance isn't as much. But that's true, I think, of all clubs. Women's clubs.
Now, what's it like to be part of a group of just women?
It's just fine.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
Did you find it like empowering, or did you find that companionship is easier, or things like that?
I don't know what to say. I think it was just like all women's club, typical.
Okay.
And we liked the programs, and the food was good. Also, for many years at the women's club, we had wonderful lunch and bridge parties. And I'm an avid bridge player all my life. So I enjoyed that very much.
That's wonderful. Who'd you play bridge with?
Lots of people.
Oh, that's right. You didn't want to say names.
I had bridge clubs I belonged to.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
And I particularly like duplicate bridge.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's more competitive than just the regular fun. You don't play bridge, obviously. You miss a lot.
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much, ma'am. I'm going to go ahead.
I don't think I was much help to